still struggle as a man. You know, before I actually get into the verse, I feel like I have been led into a different direction. Just say, man, I do have a lot of questions when it comes to the Bible. I can be honest in saying that, you know, because I'm a young student at this, you know, at this whole life thing, and it, you know, me developing a relationship with God. I'm definitely a student in this thing who's just putting out my perspective. And so I will say I've had my questions. I don't fully know what to think, or there's been a lot of times where I've overthought about reading the Bible and things along those lines, reading the Word. And so I've just started to question a lot more things within my life. I can be honest in saying something where I have to learn. So if you'd like to maybe put a comment down as to what I could learn about this or anything, just let me know. But I did want to incorporate and bring the Bible into this video today. So listen, I'm going to be putting this Bible verse in here that says, or a couple of verses actually, that say, the most important one, answered Jesus, is this: Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul, with all your mind and all your strength. The second is love your neighbor as you love yourself. There is no commandment greater than these. Now listen, now the reason that I'm putting this one here, obviously because it does mention loving your neighbor as you love yourself, but the most important one being to love our God. Now listen, the first thing that I want to say, the importance of loving our God, you know what I'm saying? The importance of loving the God that is the God of love. You know what I'm saying? Because when we love the God that is the God of love, we are a reflection of what we do. We're a reflection of what we bring into the reality that we're living in. You know what I'm saying? We're a reflection of that. That is what I believe in. And so if I put my love, or not love, if I put myself deeply into the position of hate, you know what I'm saying, and I choose to idolize hate, and I choose to think that it's cool to do things that are built off of hatred, you know what I'm saying, which is a lot of what the world encourages of us. If I choose to do those things, and I choose to put myself deep into that pit of hate, then what's going to reflect off of me is hate. That's just the truth. When I put myself into these positions where I choose to say, man, I want to put myself in that spot, it's going to reflect onto me. It's what I'm going to see, it's what I'm going to feel, and it's what I'm going to project onto other people. You know what I'm saying? So that means that if I love God, who is of love, you know, if I put my love into God, you know what I'm saying? Because that's really the only place you can truly feel and put love into. It's the only place where you can really get that love from, because God is love. God placed love into our hearts and our souls. So when I put myself into that spot where I am digging deep into the love of God, when I'm choosing to do that, that is when love is then projected onto me. You know, that is when love is brought onto me, when I choose to put my love into God's love. And a part of that is bringing love to, showing love to other people. But first we have to put ourselves in the spot where we're open to God's love. And once we're open to God's love, then that means that we're able to love oneself. You know what I'm saying? Because we have opened ourselves up to God's love. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I've missed the mark a bit. I've missed the mark in bringing God and putting God first. You know what I'm saying? In the things that I do. A lot of the time, this is where I'll be honest and saying, I'll let my pride, and this isn't to sit here and say, you know, or convict it, saying you're probably doing what I messed up in. No, I'm saying this isn't so we can all understand where is this coming from, and we can work together towards making that change. What I started to do was I started to walk off of I would pray to God for things to happen, but walking off of my own accord as to the way that I feel, I encourage that. You know what I'm saying? If I felt like, you know, if I felt prideful in the moment, you know what I'm saying? Or if I felt like, man, you know, I need to look a certain way in front of this crowd, or I need to act, then I would encourage that. And by that, I mean, I would let that be brought into the reality that I'm living in. You know what I'm saying? That means that when I would walk around anywhere and I'm sitting here worried about what other people are thinking, and so I'm taking action into that, and I'm fueling that insecurity. I've spoken about that a bunch of times. Insecurity then was brought onto me because I was fueling the insecurity further and further and further, and letting it just keep on going, so it became brought onto me. And so because of it, the insecurity started to latch onto others. Not saying they became insecure, but they could clearly see the insecurity that was going on within me, and it was leading for my relationships to be developed based off of a base of insecurity. because that's where you act like the relationship is working well. You act like, you know what I'm saying, with anything, friends, anything, you act like things are cool, you act like things are good, but really it's just a sense of pride and insecurity that you're operating off of that is helping to develop that relationship connection that you even have. Like I said, that can go for anything. And I'm not even gonna say that I dealt with that very deep, but I just know that can happen. You know, when two people act, you know, prideful when they have any kind of connection, when two people choose to act not off of the accord of love and more off the accord of, you know, trying to make themselves look a certain way, they're going to be building that connection based off of that, and they're just going to be fueling that, and it's going to become worse and worse. That's just how it goes, right? So, because the enemy is a lie, and the enemy works to seek, kill, and destroy, okay? But listen, what I chose to start thinking of lately is I have to start operating off of love. And the way to start operating off of love and loving oneself is to be able to be open to what God wants for me. You know, and it's not always easy to do that, but praying to him, speaking to him, and being honest. And then in these other situations where I feel like I'm trying to bring out pride, or I feel like I'm trying to look cool in front of people, when I feel like I'm trying to do all that, when I start to worry too much, when I make videos, I start to worry too much about what's this person going to be thinking when they're watching it. Honestly, I'm just gonna say, man, nah, who cares? I should be thinking, man, nah, who cares? And put this out, because this is not just art that I'm putting out here, but this is the word, you know what I'm saying? And I shouldn't be worried about what other people are gonna think of the word or how much views it's gonna get, right? So and also with the content, the music that I was making, how many views is it gonna get? How many, like, these are things that I shouldn't be fueling, but I have been, and not fueling what God wants for me to be fueling in the first place, which is him, and which is his love, which is what I should be trying to put out within the when you worry about money too much, and you worry about what other people think about you, and you worry about all these things because you're trying to fuel your pride, you're not actually fueling the love. Instead, you're not going to be projecting out love because you're not fueling the love that God brings onto us. Instead, you're fueling that pride, like I said before. So what I'm working to say here today is that, listen, the goal is that we have to fuel love. You know what I'm saying? And by that, that's what leads to us loving oneself. Loving oneself is taking away the pride. Loving oneself is taking away, and pride and anxiety are the same thing. When you build up pride, you start to get anxiety because it's like, what's going to happen to my pride? That's the only reason anxiety exists. You know what I'm saying? So when we choose to say, look, and I'm not sitting here to say that, you know, those things aren't true. Anxiety isn't true. It is. I deal with it still. It's not easy. It's hard. But these are the things of where it comes from, right? Saying that, I say that to say, man, you know, when I first started this video, you might have seen a cut in the video. And the reason that there was a cut was because when I started speaking, I started thinking, man, am I even confident with what I'm putting out here right now in the Bible, I don't even know. And I had to just let that go and say, look, I'm confident in God's word. And, you know, I've always had I'm a student. I'm still a student. Right? But I can't be thinking about other people looking at me and saying, man, you don't even know nothing. Why are you questioning the Bible? Instead, I have to be honest, real, and truthful so that I can make change for anybody that might be in my spot or even in a different position, okay? So, saying all these things to say, man, that we have to operate off of love. I should be making these videos not because I want to look cool for you, but because I want to bring love to you. And I want to be able to help make a change in, you know, whatever I can, however I can, right? That's what I should be operating in. And so that leads for me to be able to love myself once I choose to say, you know what? I'm going to be putting God's love first in everything that I do, not my pride. I'm going to just be doing things out of the intention of love, not out of the intention of building my pride, but the intention of love. And so that's going to reflect onto me. Because now I'm putting out love, because my intent is love, I'm putting out love, and so it's reflecting unto me, meaning that I'm able to love myself based off of what I'm doing, and then nobody else's opinions and things really do hurt me either. And then once that happens, I'm able to love my neighbor because I love myself, and I'm able to project out love because also what you are a self-reflection of is what you project out. So then I'm able to bring out love, and I'm able to bring out love to others, and others, I can hopefully make that change for others. So I just wanted to say that real quick. That's all that I'm saying into the movement of unity. This is a movement of unity video because this is one of the biggest things when it comes to bringing unity, is that we have to love ourselves. We have to love what we do and love ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And not convict ourselves so deep either. That's the last thing I want to talk about. There's a lot of times where I'll end up convicting myself because I hurt my pride because I ended up sinning. That's exactly what it is. I hurt my pride because I ended up sinning. If I end up sinning and doing something dumb, and then it's like, or doing something, whatever, you know what I'm saying, doing something wrong, right? And then I get all, man, you shouldn't have done that. What's wrong with you? The reason I'm like that is because of my pride. I get so deep into my pride to the point that when I end up taking away that pride, I end up getting upset at myself. A lot of the time I do things out of pride, so when I end up opposing that pride, I get upset at myself. And that's where I have to learn that I'm going to stop doing things out of the intent of building up pride, but just for strictly the reason of love and growth for not just me, but for the right reasons for others as well. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, we need to operate out of love, not operate out of pride. And that's what God brings us. That's what God opened me up to recently is, man, I got to stop operating off of my pride, but operating off of, I'm not doing this to look good. I'm not doing this to look good for myself. I'm not doing this to look good for myself and make myself feel good about myself. I'm doing this because I want to be doing good for the kingdom, and I want to be doing good for the people around me, and that's the only reason that I'm doing this. Every action that I take is for God. It's not for my pride, because if I do that for my pride, I'm actually breaking myself down anyways. That's all I really wanted to say. I hope that this message got projected out well. I want to say I thank you and I appreciate you for watching this video today, and this really was a great message. I'm glad I put this one out here. I'm glad that I thought about this one because it was definitely one that was definitely long in the making, and I have a lot more to learn about when it comes to everything, but I'm just working to walk on God's path, and that's what I'm starting to do. I'm just learning to work on God's path, be patient with myself and loving with myself, learning to develop this relationship and connection with God, and learning to bring love unto others, and not bring out my pride, but rather bring out love. So then when I come to a point in time where God can put me in the purpose that he has for me, I'm prepared for it because I'm operating in love, not operating in pride. So I have the right inventory of love to be able to keep on walking in the purpose that God has for me. So I want to say thank you. I appreciate you for watching this video. Have an amazing morning, evening, night. You take care, and thank you, and God bless you. Thank you.